Welcome back. You're watching Newsx and I'm Shivani Singh. In a swift and decisive response to one of the nation's most devastating incidents in nearly 3 decades, the Australian government has unveiled plans for its largest gun buyback scheme since the 1996 Port Arthur massacre. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has announced the initiative, emphasizing the need to remove hundreds of thousands of firearms from circulation amid national grief over a terrorist attack that claimed 15 lives at Sydney's iconic Bondi Beach. The tragedy unfolded on December 14, 2025 during a vibrant Hanukkah celebration, which was named Chanukah by the sea. It was organized by the local Shabbat Jewish community in Archer Park, adjacent to the Bondi Beach. Around 1,000 people had gathered for the festive event, marking the first night of the Jewish Festival of Lights, when 2 gunmen, identified as father and son Sajid Akram and Navid Akram, opened fire. The attackers, armed with legally owned firearms, including rifles and shotguns, targeted the crowd in what authorities have described as an anti-Semitic terrorist attack inspired by the Islamic State ideology. Let's in fact take a look at what the Australian gun laws are. And this has been brought about, this change has been brought about in a very swift and decisive move by the Australian government. So what are the Australian gun laws? The National Firearms Agreement forms the basis of Australia's gun law. So the National Firearms Agreement is forming the basis of the gun law. The gun ownership is a privilege. It is not a constitutional right. So that's the basis, that it is not a privilege to own a gun. It is not a constitutional right. All firearms must be individually licensed and registered. So if you have multiple firearms, all have to be individually licensed. Self-defense is not a valid reason for gun ownership. So giving the reason of self-defense is not valid for gun ownership. They also must prove genuine reason, example hunting or sport, and pass strict checks. So there will be strict checks if you want a gun license, and you must have a valid reason. Applicants must pass background checks, safety training, and a 28-day waiting period. So there is a 28-day waiting period. You have to pass the strict background checks, and you have to make sure that you undergo a training as well. Semi-automatic rifles and pump-action shotguns have been banned for civilians. So semi-automatic rifles and pump-action guns have now been banned for civilians. Mandatory buybacks in 1996 and the new 2025 scheme removed millions of guns. So in 1996 also there was a massacre, after which a buyback scheme was introduced, and this is the second one that we are seeing. There have been limits on the number of guns per person. 2025 reforms include citizenship requirements. So the 2025 change is that you need to be a citizen of Australia in order to apply for a gun license. Strict safe storage, waiting periods, and regular license reviews. So apart from all of this, there will be a regular, in fact, review of the license that you have. So clearly this is something that's very important and that the government is looking at.